It was just 3 years ago when heavy rains forced Squaw Creek out of its banks, flooding parts of the Iowa State campus for days.
Pretty hectic and, in the end, kind of scary. It was a first for us to have some facilities be inundated with flood water.
A giant picture hanging in the General Services building shows the places on campus hit the hardest.
We need to be more prepared and apply what we've learned, what we've experienced to future events.
That's why Iowa State officials offered a voluntary sandbag training class to nearly 60 people, mainly ISU employees.
I've asked a number of people, you know how to sandbag, and the answer has always been yes. But as I experienced a couple years ago, in reality, that wasn't the case. It's not a difficult process, but there are some key do's and don'ts on how to do it correctly. A typical sandbagging procedure and process. You've got people manning shovels to fill sandbags, people holding the bags, and then people transferring those bags from point A to point B where you would need to build your structure. And then you had people actually building the structure.
Throughout the class, instructors teach the common mistakes of sandbagging.
And I asked somebody, well, how do you typically fill a sandbag? And it's going to be clear full. The more sand, the better. Well, in reality, you don't want to do that. You want it 1/3 to 1/2 full, and leave the rest of that bag as room for that sand to flow. When you place it on the ground, is stomp on it. It was like, stomp on it. Yeah, you want to squeeze that sand in all of those crevices to make it watertight.
Another common mistake is building the levee.
Stacking the sandbags without much thought into how it needs to be done. The sandbags need to be a lot like a brick wall so that they interlace with one another. That's the best way to keep them for a fairly watertight seal. We also want to make sure that the sandbags are always out from the building 6 to 8 feet. That enables them to put a pump behind there in case water does start seeping in there. It also keeps the pressure off of the building wall. If the sandbags are up against the building, then you've got the weight of the sandbags and the weight of the water that's all pressing against the side of that building.
Organizers were surprised by the response for this first sandbag training event.
The response was huge. We had our room full. So we have a lot of people that have a vested interest in this. A lot of us have been at the university long enough. We've seen this happen numerous times.
And they hope this short afternoon class will have a long-lasting effect should flooding be a problem on campus in the future.
We've become the first responders, and why not be fully prepared?
The university has had damage from floodwaters, and so this is just one of those efforts that we're trying to make to mitigate some of the damages that we can have.
Alex Murphy, Iowa State University News Service.